Josh Hart's career has never followed the clean arcs that make stars easy to market. There is no single night that defines him, no singular stat line that explains his value in isolation. Instead, his story exists in accumulation of effort, of trust, of moments that rarely trend but consistently matter. Hart occupies a rare space in modern basketball, the intersection where want meets will, where talent is sharpened not by entitlement, but by responsibility. His journey is not loud, but it is unavoidably present. From the beginning, Hart was shaped by structure. Raised in Maryland in a household that prioritized discipline, accountability, and education, he learned early that effort was not optional. Basketball was not presented as escape or entitlement, but as opportunity paired with obligation. That framing would follow him throughout his career. He never approached the game as something owed to him. He approached it as something to be earned daily. As a young player, Hart was not immediately separated by overwhelming physical gifts. He was athletic, capable, intelligent, but not untouchable. That reality sharpened his awareness. He learned how to read the game early, how to anticipate rather than react, how to stay engaged even when the ball did not find him. These habits, formed long before national attention arrived, became foundational. He learned that value could be created without possession, and that presence could be felt without volume. Villanova became the proving ground where those instincts were refined into identity. Jay Wright's program demanded more than skill. It demanded self-awareness. Players were expected to understand not only their role, but why that role existed. Hart embraced that philosophy immediately. He defended multiple positions, rebounded beyond expectation, moved the ball without hesitation, and accepted responsibility in moments others avoided. He did not chase attention within the system. He stabilized it. Over time, Hart's influence grew. By his senior season, he was no longer simply a piece. He was a pillar. His leadership was not theatrical. It was steady. Teammates trusted his voice because it was earned. Coaches trusted his decisions because they were consistent. When Villanova captured the national championship, Hart's performance reflected his entire career arc. Timely, composed, unselfish, and everywhere that mattered. He did not dominate the moment. He controlled it. Entering the NBA, Hart did so without illusions. Drafted in the middle of the first round, he understood the league's realities. Opportunity is conditional. Roles are temporary. Trust must be rebuilt with every new coach, every new system, every new roster. That awareness did not intimidate him. It clarified him. He leaned into what he could control. In Los Angeles, Hart entered an environment defined by volatility. Expectations shifted rapidly. Young players were evaluated publicly and impatiently. Hart responded by simplifying. He defended. He ran the floor. He rebounded aggressively. He accepted minutes when available and maintained readiness when they were not. His shooting percentages fluctuated early, but his effort never did. Over time, coaches noticed. Teammates relied on him. His presence became predictable in the best way. What separated Hart, even then, was his physical commitment to the margins of the game. He attacked rebounds with the urgency of someone who believed possession was a privilege, not an assumption. For a guard, his rebounding numbers were not just unusual, they were intentional. He read trajectories early, wedged himself into space, and absorbed contact without complaint. Each rebound felt like a personal statement, that no possession would be conceded casually. As his career progressed, trades followed. In New Orleans, Hart's role expanded. The team was young, inconsistent, and searching for identity. Hart became connective tissue. He defended stars, guarded up a position, initiated fast breaks off defensive rebounds, and provided emotional stability. His rebounding reached elite levels for his position, not as anomaly, but as habit. Night after night, he absorbed physical tolls that do not show up cleanly in highlights, but accumulate in outcomes. In Portland, amid transition and uncertainty, Hart again adjusted without resistance. He scored when asked. He facilitated when necessary. He remained engaged regardless of context. There was no public frustration, no visible ego negotiation. He understood the league's transient nature and responded with professionalism. That adaptability became part of his reputation. Then came New York, a city that does not reward ambiguity. In Madison Square Garden, effort is currency. Hart arrived reunited with familiar voices, But the stage was larger, the scrutiny sharper. Almost immediately, his style resonated. Fans recognized authenticity. They saw a player who dove for loose balls without hesitation, who chased rebounds through traffic, who guarded multiple positions without complaint, who played extended minutes with the same intensity he brought in the first quarter. Hart's impact with the Knicks went beyond numbers. He became an emotional stabilizer in high-pressure moments. When pace slowed, he pushed. When energy dipped, he intervened physically. When stars carried offensive burdens, Hart absorbed everything else. Defensive assignments, rebounding responsibility, transition pressure. He did not ask for recognition. He created reliability. Durability became one of his defining traits. In a league increasingly shaped by load management and availability concerns, Hart's willingness to play through discomfort distinguished him. He prepared meticulously. He conditioned relentlessly. He treated availability as accountability. Coaches trusted him because they knew what he would provide, not perfection, but consistency. Hart's leadership style is understated but precise. He communicates directly. He holds teammates accountable without grandstanding. He understands the emotional rhythm of competition. He knows when to speak and when to act. His leadership is not about control, it is about reinforcement. He amplifies collective purpose rather than centering himself within it. Off the court, Hart's authenticity mirrors his on-court presence. He speaks candidly about league realities, financial literacy, mental health, and the human side of professional sports. He does not perform relatability, he practices honesty. That transparency strengthens his credibility. Teammates trust him because he does not posture. Fans connect with him because he does not obscure reality behind branding. Advanced metrics attempt to capture Hart's value, and many succeed partially. They quantify rebounding rates, defensive versatility, on-off impact, but they cannot measure trust. The confidence that when a game tilts, Hart will be where he needs to be. They cannot quantify emotional stabilization or competitive tone setting. Those elements are felt, not logged. Josh Hart's career challenges conventional definitions of success. He is not defined by scoring averages or signature moves. He is defined by presence, by consistency, by a refusal to disengage. His impact compounds quietly, often invisibly, but unmistakably. In a league increasingly specialized, Hart remains complete. Not because he excels at everything, but because he honors everything. He defends. He rebounds. He runs. He communicates. He sacrifices. He competes. He understands that basketball is not only about creation, it is about maintenance. About holding structure together when pressure arrives. Hart's story is not about ascent to superstardom. It is about sustainability. About carving out relevance through trust. About earning minutes in every building. About becoming indispensable without demanding the spotlight. His career reminds us that value does not always announce itself. Sometimes it shows up early, stays late, and refuses to look away from the hardest parts of the job. Josh Hart has made himself necessary everywhere he has gone. That is not coincidence. That is discipline. That is intent. That is identity. And that is why he lasts. Josh Hart reminds us that impact isn't always loud, and leadership doesn't always lead the stat sheet. Sometimes it shows up early, stays late, and does the work others avoid. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate long-form tributes that explore the full human story behind the game, please like, share, and subscribe for more.